in the rugged and unforgiving landscape of the Old West, where every day was a battle for survival, there lived a little girl whose fate seemed as bleak as the endless dusty trails. She was a beautiful orphan, fragile and alone, caught in the merciless grip of a world that saw her not as a child, but as a commodity to be sold to the highest bidder. Her wide, innocent eyes held stories no one took the time to hear, stories of loss, longing, and a desperate hope for a place to call home. The marketplace was a harsh stage where hopes were bartered alongside goods, and the girl's future was weighed against coins and cold bargains. Families desperate to survive looked upon her as one more burden, while strangers saw an opportunity for profit. Yet, amidst the crowd's indifferent murmurs and hard stares, a quiet force was about to change the course of her life forever. A man scarred by war, carrying his own wounds not just on his body, but deep within his soul. This wounded soldier, a man who had witnessed horrors beyond the imagination of many, saw something in that fragile child that others could not, an unspoken connection born from shared pain and survival. The metal pin to his chest was more than a symbol of valor. It was a testament to sacrifice, honor, and the cost of fighting for a future that was worth saving. In that moment, he made a choice that would ripple through time, forever intertwining their destinies. As the sun dipped low behind the jagged mountains, casting long shadows over the dusty streets, the scene unfolded like a timeless story of courage and compassion. It was a story not just about a rescue, but about the power of humanity to rise above hardship and claim hope from the ashes of despair. This is a tale of love forged in the harshest conditions, a testament to the belief that even the smallest life can inspire the greatest acts of bravery. Stay with us as we journey into this unforgettable chapter of the Old West, where a wounded soldier's medal became a beacon of hope for a beautiful orphan, proving that sometimes the greatest treasures are found not in gold or silver, but in acts of kindness that change lives forever. The dusty town square was alive with the noise of haggling voices, creaking wagons, and the restless shuffling of boots on hardened earth. Among the clamor, a small figure stood out, an orphan girl, no older than 8, her clothes tattered and her eyes wide with fear and uncertainty. She was about to be sold like a piece of livestock, a transaction dictated not by compassion, but by the desperate needs of those around her. Her delicate frame seemed almost swallowed by the harshness of the world, yet something about her carried a quiet dignity that caught the eye of those who dared to look deeper. Families gathered with hardened faces, weighing the cost of taking her in against the burden of survival in the relentless frontier. For many, she was a symbol of misfortune, a reminder of the cruel hand fate had dealt them. The cries of the market mingled with the whispers of townsfolk who saw in her more than just an orphan. They saw a fleeting chance at redemption or ruin. Yet, amid this crowd of strangers, the girl clung to a fragile hope that someone would see her as more than a transaction. Nearby, a man sat nursing wounds both visible and invisible. A soldier recently returned from the brutal battles that had scarred the West, his body marked by the violence of war and his spirit burdened by memories few could understand. The metal pin to his chest gleamed dully in the afternoon sun, a symbol of sacrifice, valor, and the price of freedom. His gaze, steady and solemn, fell upon the girl, stirring something deep within, a reflection of his own losses and a flicker of compassion that had not yet been extinguished. The soldier's eyes met the girl's, and in that moment, an unspoken connection bridged the gap between their worlds. He saw beyond her fragile appearance, recognizing in her a spark of resilience and innocence that the wild frontier often sought to extinguish. The weight of his own sacrifices compelled him to act, even as the voices around him debated the worth of a child in a land ruled by survival of the fittest. His heart, worn but not broken, whispered that this little girl deserved more than a life bought and sold. As the auctioneer's voice rose again, demanding a higher bid, the soldier rose from his seat with a resolve that surprised those watching. In a world where valor was measured by gunfire and grit, he chose a different kind of bravery, one that defied the cold logic of the marketplace. The medal he wore was about to become more than a symbol. It was about to rewrite the destiny of a beautiful orphan in the Old West. The crowd fell silent as the soldier stepped forward, holding out his medal with hands steady despite the tremor of emotion beneath. Murmurs spread like wildfire. Why would a man of his stature sacrifice such a prized possession for a child? The answer lay not in wealth or status, but in the unyielding bond of shared humanity forged in the fires of hardship. His choice challenged the very fabric of the town's harsh reality, shaking the assumptions that had kept kindness buried beneath layers of survival and suspicion. As the medal exchanged hands, the girl's eyes widened with disbelief and dawning hope. For the first time, she felt seen, not as property, but as a person worthy of love and protection. The soldier knelt beside her, offering a gentle smile that spoke of promises made without words. This was no ordinary rescue. It was a profound act of grace that transcended the dusty streets and bartered lives around them. In the days that followed, the soldier and the girl forged a bond that defied the odds. He became her protector, her mentor, and the steady presence in a world that had offered so little certainty. Together, they navigated the unforgiving landscape of the Old West, where danger lurked in every shadow, and trust was a rare treasure. Their journey was one of survival, but also of healing, two souls finding strength in each other's resilience. The town watched with a mixture of skepticism and awe as the soldier's sacrifice transformed into a story of redemption. Some whispered that he had given away more than a medal. He had given hope to a forgotten child and reminded everyone that even in the harshest places, compassion could flourish. The orphan's beauty was no longer just skin deep. It radiated from the courage and love that had been kindled by one man's selfless act. Yet, the path ahead was fraught with challenges that neither the soldier nor the girl could face alone. The Old West was a land of unpredictable perils, lawlessness, prejudice, and the harshness of nature itself. Their survival depended not just on bravery, but on the deepening trust between them, and on the quiet determination to carve out a future where hope was more than a fleeting dream. The bond between the wounded soldier and the orphan grew stronger with each passing day, a testament to the healing power of trust forged in adversity. The soldier, once haunted by the echoes of war and loss, found in the girl a reason to hope again, a fragile light breaking through the darkness that had long threatened to consume him. Her laughter, rare but genuine, became a balm to his wounded spirit, reminding him that even in the harshest of lands, joy could be found. Together, they journeyed beyond the town's dusty streets into the vast wilderness, where the sky stretched endlessly and the land held secrets as old as time. The soldier taught the girl the skills necessary to survive, the patience to read the winds, the wisdom to track game, and the courage to face the unknown. Each lesson was wrapped in stories of resilience and honor, a legacy he hoped she would carry long after he was gone. But the frontier was unforgiving, and danger lurked in unexpected corners. Bandits roamed the trails, and the scars of conflict between settlers and natives still ran deep, threatening to tear apart the fragile peace the soldier and the girl sought to build. Their path was not just a physical journey, but a constant battle against the shadows of the past, where every step forward demanded unwavering courage and unity. In the quiet moments under the stars, the soldier shared his own story, the battles fought, the friends lost, and the hopes that had carried him through the darkest nights. The girl listened with wide eyes, absorbing not just the history, but the lessons of resilience and sacrifice. Their shared stories created a bridge between generations, a chain of strength that bound them together beyond blood. As the sun rose over the rugged landscape, painting the sky with hues of golden fire, their resolve was clear: to face whatever the West could throw at them, side by side. Their journey was more than survival. It was a testament to the transformative power of love, hope, and unyielding spirit in a land that demanded everything, but often gave little in return. Word of the soldier's sacrifice and the orphan's newfound family began to spread through the surrounding settlements, carried by travelers and whispers around campfires. Some scoffed at the idea that a medal could buy more than respect or wealth, while others saw in the story a glimmer of something rarer: humanity reclaiming its place amid the dust and gunfire. The tale became a quiet legend, inspiring those who dared to believe in second chances and the power of compassion. The girl, once fragile and fearful, blossomed into a young woman shaped by the rugged beauty of the land and the unwavering support of her protector. Her spirit, tempered by hardship but never broken, became a symbol of resilience that touched the hearts of many. She learned to navigate not only the wilderness but the complex social terrain of a frontier community still healing from its wounds. The soldiers' wounds, physical and emotional, slowly began to mend, but the battles they faced together were far from over. Prejudice and suspicion still lingered, and the scars of past conflicts made acceptance difficult. Yet, their shared strength forged a path through hostility and hardship, proving that family could be chosen and built in the most unlikely of places. As they stood on the edge of a new chapter, the soldier and the young woman knew that their journey was about more than just survival. It was about breaking cycles of pain and building a future where hope could thrive. Their story was a quiet rebellion against despair, a testament to the belief that even the smallest acts of kindness could reshape destinies. Underneath the endless western sky, their bond stood as a living proof that love and sacrifice could transcend even the harshest landscapes. It was a story that would echo through time, reminding all who heard it that the true treasures of the frontier were not gold or land, but the hearts willing to give and receive without hesitation. As the seasons turned, the young woman grew into a figure of quiet strength, her resilience reflecting the rugged land she called home. The soldier, once broken by the ravages of war, found new purpose in her presence. His medal, now a symbol not of past battles, but of the life he was helping to rebuild. Together, they faced the unforgiving frontier, each day a testament to the unyielding spirit that defined their journey. The town, once skeptical of their bond, began to see the power of their union. Whispers of admiration replaced murmurs of doubt as neighbors witnessed acts of kindness and courage shared between the two. In a world often ruled by mistrust and hardship, their story became a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the harshest places, love could flourish and heal. But the frontier's challenges were relentless. Nature's fury, scorching heat, bitter cold, and sudden storms tested their endurance. Outlaws and hostile eyes reminded them that peace was fragile. Yet, their shared strength, forged in the crucible of adversity, held firm. Each obstacle was met not just with survival, but with a determination to thrive against all odds. Amidst this struggle, the soldier imparted wisdom beyond survival skills. He taught her about honor, sacrifice, and the courage to stand tall when the world seemed intent on breaking you. His stories, filled with loss and hope, became the foundation of her character, shaping a future built on respect and resilience rather than fear. As twilight settled over the plains, their silhouettes against the vast horizon spoke volumes, a story of redemption, courage, and the unbreakable bond formed when two souls refused to give in to despair. This chapter of their journey reveals that even in the wildest frontiers, humanity's greatest victories are those won within the heart. The young woman's transformation did not go unnoticed beyond the boundaries of the town. Word spread to neighboring settlements, carried on the wind and through the tales of wandering traders. Many were inspired by the tale of the soldier who gave away his medal for a chance to rewrite a child's fate, a story that challenged the cold calculus of survival with the warmth of compassion. In the face of skepticism and lingering prejudice, their story became a symbol of possibility, a living proof that change was possible even in a land steeped in hardship. The soldier's sacrifice echoed in the hearts of those who longed for something better, igniting sparks of hope in places where despair once reigned. But the frontier's harshness could not be forgotten. Threats from bandits, conflicts with rival factions, and the relentless elements demanded vigilance and courage. The young woman and the soldier stood united, their partnership a fortress against the chaos that sought to claim them. Their bond was their greatest weapon, tempered by trust and unwavering loyalty. In quiet moments beneath the starlit sky, they dreamed of a future where children like her would never face the fear of being sold or abandoned. Their hopes were woven into every step they took, every hardship endured. Together, they embodied the belief that love and sacrifice could reshape even the harshest destinies. This part of their journey reminds us that true strength is found not in isolation, but in connection. It shows that even the smallest acts of courage and kindness can ripple through generations, changing the course of lives and the fabric of communities forever. The years that followed were a testament to transformation, not only for the young woman and the soldier, but for the entire community that slowly began to embrace a new kind of strength, one born from compassion and unity, rather than fear and division. The young woman, once a fragile orphan on the brink of being sold, grew into a remarkable figure, her spirit as untamed and enduring as the vast western plains. Guided by the soldier's unwavering mentorship, she learned to navigate the harsh realities of frontier life with a fierce intelligence and a heart tempered by kindness. The scars of her past, while never fully erased, became marks of resilience, woven into the fabric of her character. The soldier, in turn, found in her a purpose that healed the wounds left by war, as their lives intertwined into a shared story of redemption and hope. Their partnership stood as a living monument against the cruelty that once threatened to consume them, proving that even in the wildest lands, humanity's capacity for love and renewal could never be extinguished. The town itself began to shift, its rigid walls of suspicion and survival gradually softened by the example set by these two souls. Neighbors who once viewed the orphan with cold indifference now offered smiles, invitations, and, eventually, friendship. The soldier's sacrifice, a medal exchanged not for gold, but for a chance at life, became a legend whispered in saloons and around campfires, inspiring others to reconsider what it truly meant to be brave. This story challenged the hardened hearts of many, stirring empathy where there had been none, and reminding the community that strength is not measured by the harshness of one's hand, but by the openness of one's heart. Slowly, the once fragmented town began to knit itself together, bound by stories of courage, forgiveness, and the unbreakable bonds forged through shared hardship. Yet, the frontier remained an unpredictable and often unforgiving place. Wild storms tore through the landscape, bandits prowled the shadows, and old rivalries simmered beneath the surface. Danger was never far, a constant reminder that peace was fragile and fleeting. But the soldier and the young woman faced each challenge side by side, their trust in each other a shield against the chaos that threatened to unravel their fragile new world. Their courage was not the loud clash of gunfire, but the quiet, steadfast commitment to protect and nurture each other, even when the odds were stacked against them. Through every trial, their bond grew stronger, a beacon of hope that illuminated even the darkest corners of the frontier. In moments of stillness beneath the endless sky, the soldier shared with her the true meaning of honor, not the glory sought by many, but the humility to sacrifice for others and the courage to stand firm in kindness when the world demanded cruelty. His stories, rich with pain and triumph, became lessons etched deeply into her soul, shaping a future where she could rise not only as a survivor, but as a leader. The girl who had once been sold was now a symbol of transformation, proof that destiny can be rewritten by acts of mercy and unwavering belief in the human spirit. Together, they forged a legacy that would outlast the fleeting shadows of hardship and echo through generations yet to come. Their journey was a powerful reminder that the Old West was more than a landscape of rugged survival. It was a crucible where the deepest parts of humanity were tested and revealed. In the end, it showed that even in a world defined by conflict and loss, the most enduring treasures were the bonds of love, sacrifice, and hope, treasures that no amount of dust or time could ever bury. As word of their story spread beyond the town, reaching the ears of settlers and travelers across the vast territories, it began to take on a life of its own, a legend that transcended the boundaries of place and time. People marveled at the soldier's choice to give away his cherished medal for a chance to save a child, an act that defied the brutal pragmatism of frontier life and instead embraced a profound humanity. This tale became a beacon of possibility in a harsh world, reminding all who heard it that compassion could pierce even the thickest walls of hardship and despair. The young woman's transformation from a vulnerable orphan to a figure of strength inspired many to look beyond their own struggles and believe in the power of second chances. Their story was retold in countless variations, by ranchers tending their cattle, by preachers delivering sermons of hope, and by families gathered under star-filled skies, each retelling a tribute to the enduring spirit of the West. Despite the reverence their story garnered, the realities of frontier life remained unyielding. Harsh winters, the ever-present threat of violence, and the scars of old conflicts challenged every day. The young woman and the soldier, however, met these trials with a determination forged through years of hardship and mutual support. They built a home not just of timber and stone, but of trust, respect, and shared dreams. Their partnership became a refuge, a sanctuary amid the storm of uncertainty that roared beyond their doors. Each obstacle overcame was a testament to the strength born of compassion and the unspoken promise that neither would face the frontier alone again. In quiet moments away from the prying eyes of the town, beneath the vast canopy of stars, they spoke of a future shaped by hope rather than fear. The soldier's medal, once a symbol of war and sacrifice, now represented something infinitely greater: the courage to give selflessly and the power to change lives. Their dreams stretched beyond the horizon, envisioning a land where no child would be sold out of desperation, where communities were bound by kindness, and where the wounds of the past could finally begin to heal. These visions, fragile yet fierce, fueled their resolve to keep moving forward despite the odds. Their story challenged the prevailing narrative of the West as a place of ruthless survival, offering instead a portrait of resilience born from empathy and sacrifice. It showed that even in a world defined by conflict, there was room for grace, a reminder that every life, no matter how small or broken, held immeasurable worth. This tale of a wounded soldier's gift and an orphan's salvation echoed the timeless truth that sometimes the greatest battles are not fought with weapons, but with the heart's capacity to love and forgive. As their legacy grew, it left an indelible mark on the land and the people who called it home. It was a story passed down through generations, a beacon that illuminated the possibility of redemption and the enduring power of kindness. In the end, it reminded all who heard it that the true spirit of the Old West was not just about the conquest of land, but about the triumph of humanity's greatest virtues: hope, courage, and the unbreakable bonds forged in the face of adversity. The years that followed saw the young woman rise as a pillar of strength and compassion within the frontier community. No longer the fragile orphan of a harsh marketplace, she became a symbol of hope and resilience, her spirit shining brighter with every hardship overcome. The soldier, once burdened by the invisible wounds of war, found in her a redemption that transcended medals and accolades. Together, they navigated the wild and unpredictable terrain of the Old West, their bond a testament to the power of trust and shared purpose. Their story inspired others, settlers, ranchers, and even former adversaries, offering a vision of a future where humanity could flourish despite the scars of the past. They built a life grounded not in the relentless struggle to survive, but in the courage to live fully, guided by compassion and an unshakable commitment to one another. In the wider territories, tales of their journey began to spread beyond the immediate region, transforming into a legend that captured imaginations and warmed weary hearts. Stories of the soldier's medal, exchanged not for gold but for the life of a child, became a beacon of possibility. It challenged the cold pragmatism often associated with frontier life, and instead celebrated the enduring strength found in selflessness and love. Communities far and wide began to retell their tale, reminding all who listened that even in the most unforgiving of landscapes, hope could take root and grow. Their legacy was no longer confined to one town or one generation. It was woven into the very fabric of the West's history. Despite the legend's glow, life on the frontier remained fraught with danger and uncertainty. The unpredictable elements, threats from outlaws, and lingering conflicts continued to test the resolve of all who called this land home. Yet, the young woman and the soldier faced these challenges with a steadfastness born of their shared trials. Their partnership was a sanctuary from the chaos, a promise that no matter how fierce the storm, they would face it together. This unity gave them strength beyond measure, proving that even in the wildest of frontiers, connection and courage could triumph over adversity. The soldier's wisdom, hard-earned through years of battle and sacrifice, became a guiding light for the community. He taught not only survival skills but the deeper lessons of honor, forgiveness, and the power of giving without expecting anything in return. The young woman, shaped by these teachings and her own experiences, grew into a leader, someone who could inspire others to believe in kindness and justice in a world that often seemed indifferent. Together, they embodied a new chapter in the story of the West, one where compassion was as vital as courage. Their journey reminds us that true victory is not measured by the battles won or lost, but by the lives touched and the hearts changed. In the vast, dusty plains of the Old West, amid the endless horizon, they forge a legacy that speaks to the enduring human spirit, one of hope, love, and the courage to choose kindness against all odds. Returning home after years of trials and triumphs, the young woman and the soldier found themselves not just survivors, but creators of a new legacy. The land they had fought to claim was no longer just a battlefield or a place of hardship. It was a sanctuary shaped by their love, sacrifice, and unwavering hope. Their story became a foundation upon which others could build, a reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness can echo across generations and reshape the course of history. The medal, once a symbol of war, now represented a life saved, a future rewritten, and the boundless capacity of the human heart to heal and transform. In the quiet moments beneath the vast, starlit sky, they reflected on their journey, the pain endured, the victories won, and the unexpected gifts found along the way. They had faced darkness and emerged into light, not alone but hand in hand, a living testament to the power of connection. Their story, passed down through families and communities, became a beacon of hope for all who struggled, a reminder that even in the toughest landscapes, the human spirit can shine with brilliance. The town that had once looked on with suspicion now embraced them as heroes not for their battles, but for their courage to love and forgive. Their lives inspired others to break free from cycles of pain and mistrust, to open their hearts to change, and to build communities rooted in empathy and respect. Through their example, the Old West was no longer just a place of hardship, but a land where the greatest victories were those of the soul. As the sun set behind the mountains, casting long shadows over the plains, the legacy of the soldier and the orphan stood tall, a story etched into the very fabric of the frontier, a timeless reminder that compassion is the truest form of bravery. Their journey teaches us that every life has worth, every act of kindness matters, and even in the most unlikely places, love can conquer all. This final chapter is not just the end of their story, but an invitation to each of us to carry forward their legacy, to face our own challenges with courage, to reach out with kindness, and to believe in the power of redemption and hope. For in doing so, we become the authors of a new story, one that honors the past and builds a brighter future. As we reach the end of this incredible journey, it's clear that this story from the Old West is more than a tale of survival. It is a profound lesson in humanity's capacity for compassion and redemption. The wounded soldier's choice to give his medal for the life of a beautiful orphan reminds us that true courage often comes not from a battlefield, but from the heart. In a world that can be harsh and unforgiving, their story shines as a beacon of hope, showing us that even the smallest acts of kindness can rewrite destinies and transform lives. This tale challenges us to look beyond the surface and remember that behind every struggle is a story worth hearing and a soul deserving of love. It asks us to question our own barriers, whether built by pride, fear, or prejudice, and invites us to choose empathy instead. Just like the soldier and the orphan, we all face battles that test our spirit, but it is through connection and sacrifice that we find true strength. Their journey teaches us that healing and hope often arise in the most unexpected places. As you carry this story with you, reflect on the power of giving without expecting anything in return and the incredible ripple effect such generosity creates. The Old West may seem distant, but its lessons are timeless. When we open our hearts, when we dare to be vulnerable, we not only change one life, we change the world around us. It is a call to be mentors of kindness, warriors of hope, and keepers of the light in times of darkness. If this story touched your heart, consider joining our community by subscribing to the channel. Your support allows us to share more tales that inspire and remind us of the enduring strength of the human spirit. Like this video if it moved you, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your voice helps keep these stories alive and sparks the conversation about what truly matters in life. Together, we can honor the legacy of those who chose love over fear, hope over despair. Thank you for being part of this journey. May their story inspire you to create your own path of courage and compassion every day.